How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode. Last time we built this thing over here, which I think is fantastic. Now we still need to figure out what we're going to do about this big flat platform on the underside, if anything. And we also need to come up with a name for it. Now I've been thinking the Lookout, but I think we can probably think of a better name than that. If you guys have any ideas, then yeah, let me know in the comments. So as you can see, I've started filling out the storage components. Now, I suppose this is kind of split into 3 different components or like methods of sorting the items. So over on this side is one of those categorizer systems. So it's a pretty low profile, sleek design. There's not a whole lot to it. And the idea is you put items in this chest that are going to be sorted, and you sort of fill up the rest of the chest with like a named filler item, so nothing that enters the system is going to get stacked with these filler items, and that'll sort those items into this column of chests. So anything I put in here is going to make its way into this column of chests, and as you can see, as I move along the columns, I've got different things going into each column. The drawback with a design like that is it's not exactly completely automatic, because if I want sandstone up here, well, although I'm sorting sandstone for this column, it's actually going to make its way to this bottom chest, and I've kind of got to go in and move it up to the top if I want it to be laid out in that way. The advantages to something like this is that it's a lot more lag efficient and also resource efficient compared to the big designs, which would sort items into the exact chest and the exact spot you want it to be. And you do that by, how I've got those filler items at the top here. In the other designs, you'd have the filler items kicking around in these chests, and that enables you to sort of plan out exactly where the items are going to end up. I mean, one thing that we could do, now correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think if we had a way to lock this hopper and this hopper for a second, then alternate it to this hopper and this hopper being locked, that would mean that the items would sort of hang around for a second in each hopper, and that would mean that they'd go into the right chest. But yeah, I'm not really too sure how to do that. So it'd need to be timed according to the items sort of going through the system, if that makes sense. But yeah, if anyone's got any ideas of or ways to do that, let me know. The design for this thing I got from a tutorial, which I will link in the description. So behind me, we have 2 more components of the system. This one is just kind of like a standard Impulse SV item filters. Impulse SV item sorters up here. So we've got the item to be sorted and then some filler items. And yeah, that'll pick out one item for each column of chests, and items will make their way down here. I've got 3 double chests per item at the moment. I think we're going to add an extra double chest for every item. Over here, the last component is the shulker box loaders. So for the shulker box loaders, again, we've got the normal Impulse SV item sorters to sort out the items, and then they make their way down to this shulker box loader. And what that's going to do is it's going to fill up a shulker box with the item that we're sorting. It's going to fill up those shulker boxes, and then once it's full, it's going to break the shulker box and deposit it in this here double chest. Now, the disadvantage to this kind of system is that we can't open the shulker box as it's being filled, and so we don't have a way to grab out a few items as and when we need them. We kind of have to take a shulker box at a time, unless you just, as well as using this chest to store the shulker boxes, we just keep a few of those items in there as well, and that kind of gives us the best of both worlds. This is a really small, sleek shulker box loader design, so that's kind of why I've gone for that one. The way we input items into the system is over here currently. As you guys have probably seen, the storage center itself is on a big tower of water. And the idea is going to be to have an input from sort of ground level up through the tower of water and into the item sorter over here. But at the moment, I've just been putting items into the system using this this dropper system. So items I place in this chest, or if I were to place shulker boxes on top of these hoppers, the items would flow into this dropper, which is going to shoot them into the water stream. I've currently got it turned off, but if I turn it back on, you can see items getting shot into that water stream, into the bubble elevator, and making their way up top. So the bubble elevator brings the items up to this water stream, and here the items are getting aligned by this double chest. So firstly, it's going to hit that first bulk storage module that has like 3 double chests per item. And then it's going to hit the next bulk storage module, which is the shulker box loaders. And then finally, the items are going to make their way around to the categorizer system. Now, the categorizer system can't work as fast as the other two. So I've got a separate clock here to pump items out to that. Currently that clock's disabled because it needs that block there to run the clock. So if I pull the lever here and turn it on, piston moves that block up, and the categorizer system is now getting items pumped into it, and you can see the observers working up there. So I can pump items in a little bit faster here than I can over here, but that does mean we could potentially end up with a backup or a backlog of items, which is why I've got this water stream ending up over 3 hoppers and into a chest, and then finally into the dropper. And that just means that we can catch any sort of backlogged items, and probably up to around a double chest of items with all the hoppers. And this categorizer system does have another drawback in that if the chunks aren't loaded while it's sorting, we could get items landing in the wrong chests. So this lever's handy to turn the categorizer system off when we're sort of leaving and entering the area. And if I'm going to be here for a while, then I'll just flip it on. Well done if you're still with me and you made it through that long explanation. Another thing that's changed in the world since the last episode is I've updated to the 1.16 snapshots. So we're on 20W17A at the moment, which is the one before the big redstone changes. Now I've actually built a couple of new farms in the world since the last episode, both just kind of copied block for block from a tutorial. So this is Ilmango Simple Tree Farm, and I think this is one of the farms that's going to get affected by the next update and the redstone changes. So I'll be making good use of this before we update again. Another farm that I've built is the Raid Farm, which is a design by Raiseworks. So yeah, again, this was just built from a tutorial. I'll link both tutorials to the tree farm and to this raid farm in the description. So if you guys want to know how to build them, you can just head over to their channels. But yeah, that gives us plenty of wood and also plenty of emeralds and totems and of undying and other drops that we can get from the raids. However, I think, yeah, both of those farms could have problems in the next redstone update. So another addition to the server is a new gold farm that the other members have been working on. Now it's the Ilmango design, and I don't think it's actually been modified to work in 1.16, so it's not quite AFKable, but it is really good for XP and gold. So back to the storage system now, guys, and the plan for today is I want to give this place a bit of a makeover and make it look a bit better. And I've got a design for that, but one of the obstacles we're going to face are these redstone blocks. So I kind of want to move these out of the way, and what we're going to have to do is, the reason these are here is to make sure this redstone dust is at power 14. So that means that when the shulker boxes fill up, the comparator is going to output a signal of 15, which is going to cause it to update. So what we need to do is power this redstone dust in a way where it's going to keep a power of 14. Over here I've got a way to do that. So here I've got the redstone block and the redstone dust, which is what we've currently got in place. And here I've got a different system whereby the redstone works its way up to this torch. And you can see here this redstone dust is at power 14, which is what we need. And this is going to mean that we can move this up a block, and it's also not going to have to be a redstone block. It can be any solid block. So I'm going to get that changed around, and added to each one of the shulker box loaders, and then we're going to give this place a bit of a makeover. And there we go, guys. That's a good amount of work put into the storage area aesthetics. I really like how this looks. Let me know what you think in the comments. Of course, all feedback is appreciated. And check this out. I've also added a new roof to the building. It's kind of turned out a little bit taller than I was going for, which is why it's got the flat roof instead of me sort of finishing off the shape. But I do like how it looks, and I think we can probably add some more sort of detail to it, maybe some lighting or some glass. It's all currently on the half slab level, so it prevents any spawns. So the great thing about adding this new roof is it gives us space for another floor up here above the storage area, and I've got a bit of a decision to make here. Whether I make the floor a bit lower, like at this level, so that we can see the items as they go around the ice streams, or do I make it a little bit higher up so we can fit some redstone in the floor? Yeah, let me know what you guys think about that. Right guys, here we are in the Nether, and before I end the episode, I thought we should probably get ourselves some upgrades now that we're in 1.16. So let's mine ourselves some Netherite. I'm just going to do this with TNT. I'm starting at Y17 and I'm just going to be placing TNT on the ground level. So let's see how we get on. And there we go guys, that mining trip was a great success. I love a good excuse to use TNT. We've managed to grab ourselves a couple of netherite tools, and that was in about 20 minutes of mining, I think. But that's going to be all from me today. If you enjoyed the video, then please hit that like button and maybe consider subscribing. But either way, thanks for joining me, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.